Like, I mean, it's really like if you're selling an enterprise, you're selling an SMB, you're selling into developers, it's very much the same. You literally ask, if you've done some early customer discovery where you think you have an ICP, you ask those people. And I remember like one of our, like two startups ago, one of our first customers was Coca-Cola, and we needed to get more enterprises. And it was possible to get, obviously, to go outbound enterprises. I remember asking our champion there, the head of data science, I was like, hey, like, how did you discover that you needed this thing? And like, she was like, oh, like, here's how I discovered it. She walked me through her process. And it was both online and offline. It was like, I go to these three conferences, I do this, here's how I research this stuff. And I look at these review sites over here. And she like listed like three review sites, which were really small, which were super nuanced in this in the vertical I was focused in on, which all I needed to do was spend like $300 a month for this like software review site that was like super niche. She listed a couple conferences that were also very random and niche I'd never heard of. And then I also was like, well, if I were to send you an email, like how would you open it? She's like, well, our organization of our size is big on case studies. So if you send something that was actionable by my industry or peer, I would open it up. And so just asking, we got like our conversion rates when we did outbound emailing and when we had conversations with other companies, being able to share a name of a notable customer really helped. In SMB, it's very much the same. I mean, it's like, but there's some like nuanced difference around cost and like price sensitivity and stuff like that. So you have to be careful there. But like we all search on Google for things, right? Our journey, if you know the customer profile and you know some of the attributes, again, just ask. It's really like don't try to guess it. Don't try to figure out where you need to be. You don't need to write like 100 blog posts and like spend money on AdWords and like spend money on LinkedIn. It's really just like understanding where they go. And maybe they do. Maybe like if you're selling in recruiting, for example, like they're on LinkedIn. Like you might need to spend money on LinkedIn. You might need to be promoting and writing on LinkedIn, but like you don't always necessarily have to do that. So those are some tidbits. I would say like have the discussion about that journey, like awareness to like how you would activate them. And again, there's subtleties in there too. Like sometimes people can't try a product out early on. Like sometimes there's like legal compliance or risk restrictions in there they can do. So you also have to understand like how they would use it, what it would work and look like in their environment. So you have to be asking some questions. But I feel like if I were to boil down like successful founders and non-successful founders that obviously satisfy the requirements of like they're building something in a market that's, timing is right, all the things true. Like the founders that don't scale don't spend enough time with their customers. The founders that do spend continued time with their customers.